Hello, early learners, and welcome back to the art room. We started off the week of portrait study yesterday, and we met Amedeo Modigliani, and I put his artwork behind us if you didn't get a chance to make one or you want to see it, how I'm going to finish mine up. I still haven't put the background in, but I will do that soon. I wanted to tell you that we are going to do a portrait study all week long. But we're going to start out with our hello song, and then we'll move right into the things that we learned yesterday about the letter P and sign language, the letter P, and we will think about all the things we learned yesterday, and you'll think, oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember that. But if you're new today, you will learn them today. So let's sing our hello. Nice to see you, everyone. Hello, nice to see you, everyone. Hello, nice to see you, everyone. Hello to you, hello to you, hello to you, hello to me. Hello, nice to see you, everyone. Well, our study is of portraits, and we learned yesterday portrait is the word used in the art world about a picture, a painting, or a sculpture of a subject or person or animal. Because I told people yesterday, I have a friend who has a portrait of her dog right in her living room. She had it painted of her dog, so she would always remember that dog, even if it doesn't live with her anymore. So the 5 words we talked about yesterday all started with a certain letter. And I'm using Miss Laura's board again, her handwriting board with the happy face that tells us we always start our letters at the top. And we're only using one big line and one little curve. So we say we always start our letters at the top. Yes, we always start our letters at the top. Is this the top, top, top? No, that's the bottom, bottom, bottom. We always start our letters at the top. So we start top down, frog jump up, and then we put on our little curve for our letter P. So it's top down, frog jump up, little curve. Here's our letter P, and let's talk about those words that we learned yesterday. One of them is portrait, and that's our entire study. It's about portraits. Portraits done by artists of other people, except on Friday. I told you we were going to do a self-portrait of Vincent van Gogh. Picture, you know what that is. You draw a picture, or you've taken pictures with your camera or with your cell phone. Person, you know, is another name for people. People is one or more. Person just means one person. Profile, remember, it's the side view of someone's face. And a pose is, if I said strike a sassy pose, you might put your hands on your hips and look forward. Or if I said strike a pose like you are saying, I'm here, here's my pose of I am here. If I say goal, here's my pose of saying goal. So there are poses for all kinds of things. I told you another tool that we use that is helpful when doing portraits is the mirror. So you can take a look. I do this for myself. I say, how big is my forehead? This big. And if I leave my fingers just that far, I can put it down and say, how far is it from my nose to my chin? So it's under my nose and chin, from my eyebrows above. And then this middle section has my mouth, nose, and eyes in it. So the mirror comes in as a helpful tool for that. I wanted to remind you our list of questions about ourself. If we are talking about what shape our face is, you think about what shape you'll be drawing. You might be thinking about the eyes, the color, the shape, how far away they are from one another. If they're looking sideways, it kind of looks like a letter V on its side. We're going to do one today because we're going to be talking about cubism. So cubism, I brought this guy to help us remember about cubism. Do you see him? Do you remember who he is? It's Humpty Dumpty. And Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, that's right. And if we were doing rhyming words today, we would say wall, fall. They both say all. Well, he made a big fall, and they said that all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put him together again. And so when I tell people about Cubism, I remind them, remember when Humpty Dumpty couldn't be put back together again? Well, Cubist artists maybe put the eye down here and the nose up here. A Cubist picture is like Humpty Dumpty not put back together the right way, but it makes for an interesting portrait. Today we're talking about Pablo Picasso, and I dressed like Pablo Picasso. If you ever see an artist that's oftentimes in a black and white striped shirt, you'll say, bet that was Picasso. And he often wore a beret on his head. And if I wouldn't get too hot, I would wear it. Maybe I'll wear it for a little bit. Let me take off my headband and I'll put it on, and you can see the beret makes me look like the artist Pablo Picasso. And so now I have on my beret, I'm talking about Pablo Picasso. I have a little pin of him on my apron, and he's wearing his striped shirt just like we say is his outfit. I want to tell you there's a song that I wrote about portraits, and it goes like this. It's really using the song, hello everybody, yes sirree, yes sirree. Yes, sirree. In the real song, it says, let's make music, yes, siree. Yes, siree, my darling. But we're going to say, let's make portraits. So if you want to sing along with me, it goes like this. 3 yes, sirees in a row. It says, hello, everybody. Yes, siree. Yes, siree. Yes, siree. Let's make portraits. Yes, siree. Yes, siree, my darling. Now, some people, when you say darling, they think you're trying to be a sweetheart, and they go, ew. But we don't say that because we're all friends. So I can just say, yes, siree, my darling. It just means, yes, siree, my friend. So let's try the song. Ready? Hello, everybody. Yes, siree. Yes, siree. Yes, siree. Let's make portraits, yes, siree. Yes, siree, my darling. Now, look at these instruments I brought. These are my rhythm sticks. And over the summer, I taught a class with my friend Miss Hill, Miss Alana Hill, and we did a whole class about rhythm sticks. And if you don't have these kind of fancy sticks, yours might just look like wood. I got my paint pens out and made them. And you can do this and it makes it sound like grating cheese. I have another instrument that I use that kind of does the same thing. It used to be a plant growing on a vine, and then someone picked it, cut 2 holes so the sound can come out, and they dried it, and then they carved little stripes on the side of it, and now I can do this. It's a Weedo. It's a Weedo. And if someone says, does this sound like chopping pepperoni? Or does this sound like chopping pepperoni? Which one sounds like grating cheese and which one sounds like chopping pepperoni? So listen. You say, oh, chopping pepperoni. Of course, it's just like slice, slice, slice. And if I do this, that's like grating cheese. So we could use this tomorrow when we sing, hello, everybody, yes, sirree. And if you have something like this, great. If you don't, you can get wooden spoons. Ask your family if you can get 2 wooden spoons. You can go outside and find a couple of sticks and use those. I don't suggest using pencils. Now look at my beautiful white pencil. This pencil, every time I sharpen it, it stays great. Doesn't break off because I haven't dropped it to the ground or used it for a rhythm stick. Because let me tell you what happens. I'm going to use it with my pens so I don't break my white pencil. I could do 2 pens and do this because the lead inside won't break. But inside a pencil, if you tap those together, every time you tap it, you have a chance of breaking it in. So every time you sharpen it, the lead falls out. And you go, why does my pencil keep breaking? It's because it's gotten smashed or broken before. So let's be careful about the things we use for our rhythm sticks. Always ask first if there's something in the house that isn't yours. You could even do this if you don't have rhythm sticks. You've got your legs and your hands to do the songs with. All right, remember I told you yesterday that we were going to be portrait detectives. And we are going to look at our portrait today. It's of Pablo Picasso's girlfriend, Dora Maar. And Dora Maar was a girlfriend of Pablo Picasso's, and he would do a lot of portraits of her because she was always willing to be his model. So today's picture, you will see her, Dora Maar. Now let me turn and look at Dora Maar. She doesn't look like Mona Lisa, but her portrait is a famous portrait. Look at her hand. Look at it. It looks like a bunch of scissors, blades of scissors coming out by her face. And look at her face. One eye is facing forward. We talked about this yesterday, and I'm going to get a poster down to show you in a minute. Not right now, because we still want to look at Dora Maar. But let's look at her face. What is the shape of her face? It's kind of long like our person yesterday. But is her nose in the middle of her face? No. He made her have a profile over here, but then he has her eye looking this way, and then this eye is looking in. She got the Humpty Dumpty treatment. She's a cubist picture. And her other hand looks like scissors too. Now I'm thinking I might want to put a hand in mine later, but what we're going to do is think about her face and how to make her nose and her cheek and her hair look a certain way. Dora Maar is our portrait we're looking at. Now there's another portrait next to her. Now this one is called uncompleted portrait. Now if you're going to make a portrait, you think, how do I want my eyes to look? Well, maybe I'll do a trial. Maybe I'll try a bunch of eyes and see which one I like the best. That's what this artist did. Then they drew a bunch of noses and pinned it where it would go on the face, like they were playing pin the tail on the donkey, pin the nose on the portrait. And then he tried out a bunch of mouths. And look at the funny way he did the ear. He did all kinds of ears he might try out. Then he hooked it on to the ear like an earring. Such a funny portrait. Oh, and right below that is our portrait of Mona Lisa. We talked about her yesterday because her face and portrait is the most famous portrait of all. And here's the song to remember that by. It goes, Mona, Mona Lisa, the most famous portrait of all. So if you remember nothing about the lesson about Mona Lisa when we go to do her lesson, you'll remember she was the most famous portrait of all. And that song will help you remember. All right, shall we start the art of doing Dora Maar? Let me show you again. She has her face looking forward. She has her face looking profiled. And that's what we're going to do with our art today. Let me set this down on my little box, put my stick back, and get out my materials. I don't think I told you I was going to use a permanent pen, but I am. And I cut 3 little pieces of paper, and I'm going to put it up on my lap and show you how we're going to do this project. Come on up here, table. This little table fits in the chair so nicely. This chair's a little bigger than my old one. So here we go. I asked you to bring little pieces of colored paper. You'll need 1 big piece of paper to be your background. I'm going to use this bright blue. Oh, look at the colors I've chosen. They are all, let me tip this down a little bit. They are all cool colors. I'm using cool colors for this portrait, but you can use any color you choose. Now, this one is the one that I'm going to draw an oval for her head. I will draw the neck because you know when our handwriting program, Mr. Mattman, Matman doesn't have a neck. They don't teach the children to use a neck on Matman's drawing. And I just think it's kind of funny, but if that's the way they want to do that in the handwriting program, that's okay. So what we're going to do is start out by making our oval, and now you want to know that when you do your drawings, you really want to make your pieces big. Otherwise, when you make something small, like if you make your circle this size, it's so hard to draw 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth on a tiny circle like that. So say to yourself, don't make it any smaller than your fist. So I am going to first draw a nice big oval. I am going to put 2 lines down for the neck. It doesn't have to be long like Amedeo Modigliani's. I'm just doing the neck this way. And of course, I'm going to go down to the shoulders like we do with our shoulders down to the end like that. Now, here's mine. If you're using white paper, that's just fine, boys and girls. But this, for me, I like a colored one because it makes it kind of stand out and it makes it kind of fancy. So first we're drawing the head, neck, and body. And then I'm going to add some kind of hair. Now her hair, she had some bangs. And bangs don't have to be there, but if you want to, I'm going to make her hair like they did. Picasso made her hair kind of go down and down and down. I liked the look of that, and I'm going to do the other side too. Down and down and down. You know, you could be using your coloring tools. It could be a crayon. I'm just using the permanent pen so that you can really see it up close. Because when I'm doing it on this table, I'm never sure how bright you can see it. Now, I'm not drawing her face. Don't start in like you're the artist and taking off, because it's going to be a special way we're doing this. And we're going to use our portrait detective clues. I'm going to start out with an eye that faces forward. I think that's going to be the eye over here. Do I want it to be the green one? No, I think I'll make that her nose. Do I want it to be the blue one? Yes. And then I'll do the sideways eye like that. But not just that way. I'm going to start out with my full front eye. So how I do that is just like I taught you before when we were working before. I do my curved line up and down. You do that. Do the curved line under for the lower. You do that. I can put the eyelid by starting here and going across just a little bit. Remember how I said to do 2 curved lines near the edge? One here. It doesn't have to be a full circle because the eye is covered up a little bit by the eyelid. So I did parentheses or little curved lines like that. I'll put the pupil on there so that I make sure that I get that on. Do I want some eyelashes? Maybe. I'll just put some on right now. You don't have to, but I think it'll make it look pretty good. And I might have to go over it a little bit later because I might want to color in that part. So I brought today my oil pastels. Now, if you're a Fresno Unified Classroom in pre-K, TK, or K, your teacher has these supplies and she can help you. If you say, hey, could we do the project that Miss Friedwright did on PBS? Could we use your oil pastels? Because maybe you just have crayons and you think the oil pastels would be really fun. Now notice, this is why I used the colored paper, because look how the white shows up on that. It looks so good. And I think I'm going to make it have, oh, maybe I'll make a green eye. Because, you know, some people do have a greenish blue eye. That looks pretty good. And I might even make more than one color. I might just do this, and I might just glue it on there so that it's ready to go. And I'm going to put that eye as my full face eye right here. I might color more of it later. I want to show you how to do the side eye. Now, if you know how to make the letter V, you just would do this. Start in the middle, do a V up, like that. But then you're going to turn it sideways. The sideways makes it so that you can put the eyeball on there. I've got the eyeball on there. I need to do another part and the black dot so that you can see that it has all the parts to the eye. I'm going to put the eyelashes on there because I put eyelashes on her other eye, so I think I better do that. I'll use that white again and color in the white of her eye, and it's only the part in the back. That's the only part you see. I don't think I'll make her have a green eye on this one. I think I'll make her have a brown eye on this one. So I can color in that eye. And it's not very realistic, so I didn't really have to do them real eye colors. I can just decide. You're leaving it still, the piece of paper, just into its rectangle shape, and put it, I think I'll have her looking in. My next thing is to do her nose. And the nose, I don't know if I want to make it broad or if I want to make it narrow, but I'm going to make it long and pointy, I think. Yeah, she'll have a long and pointy nose. And I'll color it, maybe I'll make it pink, a pink nose. And I'll color it down and over. And, oh, I just broke it. Remember I talked about how oil pastels will break? No one needs to worry about it because you just put it in a little dish and you always have your little broken piece if you need to do something side to side. So now my nose will go down the middle of her face. Then I'll just have to add the mouth and start a little more colors on there. Put her nose, oh, I better slip it under her eye so it doesn't cover up the eyeball. Maybe put your nose, remember that, boys and girls, I did it out of a good order. I should have put the nose on first. I'll peel it back. My glue stick hasn't dried yet. Put it up a little higher. Oh, there, that's much better. Now I'll make her mouth. Who remembers how we made the mouth from before? Do you remember what letter I said it could be? You can make it, let me move my pastels up here so I can tip my board a little bit toward you. I make my letter M kind of flattened out. Does it have to be in the mouth spot? Not if it's a Humpty Dumpty cubist. So I'll just put her mouth like that, and then I can put a different lip on it. You'll see when we do another Picasso tomorrow, I can put her lips on part way facing forward, part way facing sideways. And she has some ruby red lips. Kind of a hot pink kind. I might do the bottom lip a different color. Put this on here. Now, the things I want to do to make it even fancier, I think I'm going to make her have some purple hair. I'll do this stripe purple, because you know, my artist, rolled off. I better get that before it smashes into the carpet. I'll be very careful. You be careful with your materials in your living room if that's where you're working today, because you don't want anything to get on your furniture. Now, I'm going to tell you while I'm coloring, boys and girls, what we'll bring tomorrow. Because tomorrow we're going to do another Pablo Picasso picture, but we're going to be using a brown grocery bag. You know the kind you get if you don't take your own bags to the grocery store? Some people, you have to pay 10 cents. And you bring a bag tomorrow, and you'll bring pastels, and you'll bring scissors, and I'm bringing a permanent pen because I like to use a permanent pen when I am putting my other pieces on my art. So you can bring a permanent pen if you have one, or you'll just use a black crayon or a black pastel that way. Oh, I think I like her a lot. I still need to put some clothes on her. I told you yesterday that I really like the color red. I hope all my clothes are not red every picture I do. You'll say, Miss Read-Wright, get some variety in there, will you please? And I will. I'll do that. I maybe put some polka dots on her. So when you talk tonight at your dinner table, you can tell people all the things you know about portraits. And we'll sing a quick goodbye song to one another and think about seeing one another tomorrow. So goodbye, see you next time, everyone. Goodbye, see you next time, everyone. Goodbye to you, oopsie. Goodbye to you, goodbye to you, goodbye to me. Goodbye, see you next time, everyone. Look at her. Oh, I'm really happy with her. She has herself with her eye looking forward, her eye looking sideways, her smiling mouth and her clothes. I can still add more to her hair. I can add more things to any part of my art because it doesn't all have to be finished in one sitting. Thank you for joining me today. Wasn't this a fun picture to do with Cubist? Remember Humpty Dumpty and the Cubist. Boys and girls, I will see you tomorrow with your brown paper bag. Bye-bye now.